Can everyone hear me out there real quick? Everyone hear me out there? How you guys doing tonight? Wow. You can do better than that. How you doing tonight? There you go. A little bit of life in you. Welcome to Chadwick's. This is Southern Oregon's, I guess we are the premier comedy club here. So yeah, hi, how you doing tonight? I already asked you that, I know. Anyone here from out of town? No, you're all local? You're from out of town? Reading. Did you lose a bet? What brought you here? Did you lose a bet with the devil? I mean...
No, we're here for the car show.
For the car show, all right. While you're here, there's plenty of fun stuff to do in Medford. There's, we have wonderful meth tasting. Yeah, I suggest Gap Vineyards. They're the best. There's also a really fun thing you can do. It's called Getting My Bike Back After It Got Stolen Adventures. Try it out. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, the rest of you guys are all local then, huh?
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, yes. Okay. I understand that. Yeah, like for example, I've lived here 25 years now. I moved here from New Orleans. And you can tell that's true by the way I say it. New Orleans, not New Orleans. That was a long time ago, darling. So you guys are all locals here. You know, when I first moved here, I came up with some slogans for some of your towns around here. You guys want to hear some of those? You want to hear some slogans for some of the towns around here? Let's start with White City. You guys all know White City, right? Anyone from White City? No? Yeah, everybody, no. No one wants to own up to that. All right, let's do it. White City. We'd leave too, but the ankle bracelets won't let us.
Wait, we broke away.
Let's see here. Let's try Grants Pass. You guys like Grants Pass? You all familiar with anyone from Grants Pass? Good. You ready for this one? Grants Pass. Our meth dispensers look like bears. Klamath Falls. Yeah, Klamath Falls. That's a hard one. Let's go with Klamath Falls. Meth is a natural resource here. And apparently now fentanyl. That's another thing while you're here too. Try Fentanyl Park. If you can get through it, it is so much fun. Yeah, I was born and raised in New Orleans, moved here 25 years ago, and when I first moved here, I had no idea why everybody here hated Californians so much. Like, Californians are despised here, right? And then I figured it out. I started driving around and got behind a couple of Californians. I have never in my life wanted to beat a Californian to death with the body parts of a Washingtonian in my entire life. And I want to make the guy from Idaho watch. Yeah. Yeah, I moved here a long time ago, and I am a 55-year-old single father. I have a 17-year-old son, and this kid's a giant. He stands 6'7" at 17 years old, and he tested positive. Don't you love the way I put that? He tested with a high IQ. Yes, my son has a 160 IQ, which if you're familiar with that IQ, that means he has the same IQ as Einstein. And nowhere near the amount of grace and intelligence that Einstein just put out there. My son, I'll tell people, hey, my son is super intelligent. He's like a genius level. And that kid will stand behind me every time. He'll go, yeah, Dad says underwear first, pants last. And that works better. One morning I remember I was laying on my bed and he came in and he laid down next to me and put his head on my chest. And I was like, oh, that's nice, little bonding time with my son. I was like, son, what you doing? He's like, I'm listening to your heart, Dad. I was like, oh wow, that's cool. And he looked up at me and I said, son, what's my heart saying? And he looked at me in the eyes and he said, save me. You know, crap. Anyone here have kids? Who has kids? You guys got kids? You like your kids? No, right? No, they're not here. We can say whatever the hell we want about them. They're not going to send us to the cornfield. No, seriously, who has kids? Raise your hand who has kids. You have kids? Do you like your kids? Sometimes? Okay. You know, I've never liked kids. And let me explain. Here's why. They always want something. Can I have a drink? Can I have something to eat? I want a new toy. Will you unlock the cage? Can I sit in the house with you? I don't like dog food. Buy the good stuff, Jesus.
My kids love dog food.
Right? Well, they're not stupid then. Buy them the good stuff, the canned stuff. My son is a really smart kid and he likes to do stuff all the time that is just wrong. Have you ever owed your kid money? No? Oh, never owe the little shits money. I have heard for the last year, you got my money every 5 minutes. I'll tell you what happens. I go into a store. I'm going to buy a little joke book because all of us comedians write our jokes in little books. And I'm buying a new joke book, and as I'm standing there, my son's with me, and next to me I hear, so you're going to buy yourself a little book to put those dad jokes in? And I knew now he's going to make fun of me. Screw this. So I'm like, no, I grab a book. I just grab the kid. I head straight up to the counter. I put the book on the counter, and the first thing the kid says, honestly, the first thing he says, he goes, yeah, the big guy will take the pink Care Bears book. And I didn't pay attention to a book I grabbed. I should have. So I put the book down. The book was $3. I had $2. I looked at my son and I said, hey son, can I borrow a couple of bucks or a buck from you? And my son goes, sure dad, no problem. And he pulled out a wad of money this big, like that big. And I was like, where the hell did you get all that money? And he was like, well, me and grandma have something going on. They didn't. You want to know what here's what the little shit was doing. This is the honest God truth. I can tell you this because he's not here. He took 2 cell phones out in my name and was selling time in school to the other kids on the internet. That's in making bank. Doing really well. And when I said, son, you realize what you're doing is wrong? He said, yeah, some kid tried to print something and I got in trouble and that cost more. No, you idiot. That's not what I meant by wrong. So we're in the store. He says, yeah, Dad, I'll give you a buck. So he turns around, hands me $1. I pay for the book, and we're walking out of the store, and I say, son, thanks for lending me that $1. I really appreciate it. That was really nice of you. And he says to me, hey, man, I'm always there for you, Dad. You're always there for me, and I'm always there for you. When we get home, you can give me back that $2, and I'll be okay. I said, wait, $2? It was $1. And he says, yeah, I get it, Dad. And when we get home, I'll need both or all $3 back. Wait, you just put that up to $3. Yes, Dad, I heard that. And when I get home, I want all $5 back. Every day I hear, do you got my money? Do you got my money? Cut to this. I got set on fire. No, this is the honest to God truth. Like you see in the movies. Ooh, this sucks. And on a side note, 3 things happen when you get set on fire. First of all, you think to yourself, this sucks. The second thing you think is, oh geez, I'm going to die. Somebody please put me out. I was engulfed in flames. And oddly enough, the third thing I thought was, something smells delicious. The hell is that? So, I had goats. I got caught on fire. Still don't know what started the fire. We were having a bonfire. I looked into it. There was a flash of light, and I was up in flames. I'm rolling around on the ground, and I'm leaving little trails of fire as I go. You believe it's little trails of fire. And my son says to me, yeah, fat does that. Yeah, isn't he wonderful? So I had a bunch of goats. I tipped the goat trough over on myself and I put out the fire. And now the fire's out and I'm laying there and I'm thinking, thank God this is out. Thank God I'm not burning anymore. And then it starts to get warm again. And it's getting warmer and I'm thinking, oh crap, am I on fire again? And then I realized, no, it's a different kind of warm. I open my eyes and there's my son. And I'm like, son, what are you doing? He goes, you were smoldering. And then he looks at me and goes, you got my money? Yeah. Yeah, he's a pip, that one. I named him Rhythm. People ask me all the time, they're like, why'd you name him Rhythm? And I'm like, well, my dad named me Freeway sarcastically. Basically what my dad thought was where you came out and what you wanted to be called and all that, where you were born and conceived and came out had something to do with who you were. So apparently during a high-speed chase, he came up with Freeway. According to him and my mother, the night was really going well and I was almost named Kilo. And then as the night progressed, I became known as 8-Ball. And then it was Graham, and then it became a high-speed chase, and my dad was like, Freeway will do! So my dad, where he came out, and so I named my son kind of sarcastically, I named him Rhythm, because the rhythm method doesn't work very well. And he hates that. I also just tell him sometimes. He'll say, why'd you name me Rhythm? And I'll just say, because fuck you. I wanted you to know the suffering I went through. But he's not a bad kid. He's a good kid. I will leave you guys with one quick note before I get your feature up here. Do you guys all know what a CPAP machine is? Everyone here know what a CPAP machine is? Okay. For those of you who don't know what a CPAP machine is, let me help you. It's like what I like to refer to as a self-touching oven. I learned that on burrito night. What a CPAP machine does is simple. It takes a machine, it takes the air in the room, it circulates it through the little machine, which puts it through a hose, which goes to a mask on your face. Now the reason some of us have to wear these is because at some point our body said, you have made stupid decisions. When we go to sleep, I'm going to kill us. So we have to wear this. And incidentally, a CPAP machine is the worst way to ask your girlfriend if she wants to get sexy. Because everything in a CPAP machine sounds perverted. Watch. Did you let the cat out? See what I mean? So, one night I'm sound asleep, I got my CPAP mask on, and you know how sometimes you're just dead to the world, you are asleep. But then you get a feeling someone's in the room with you, something's staring at you. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Usually it's your dog or your psychotic grandmother. You know what I mean? I'm sound asleep, that feeling comes over me, my eyes pop open. There's my son standing next to the bed. He's got his pants around his ankles. And he has the devil's onion ring pressed against my CPAP machine. And I say, hi son, what are you doing? Oh, just watching you sleep. It's 3:30 in the morning. And you have your devil's tube sock pressed against my CPAP. Yeah, Dad. Just, making sure you're okay. Son, I'll kill you. You'll never live through the night. My son got in my face, looked me straight in the eyes, and just before I blacked out, he said, You got my money? Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host tonight.